Personally, I'm a massive fan of absolutely hard-hitting drums, anything bass music related. Like, you could have the most unreal bass sound or sickest composition ever, but then if your drums aren't hitting as hard as they could be, it just kind of shatters the illusion of the drop. It just really kind of puts a cap on the potential of the drop. So I'm making this dedicated video on how to make your drums slap even more than normal. First things first goes without saying, great sounding samples do a lot of the heavy lifting before you even get to the processing, so I would highly recommend that. Antidoteaudio.com. Anyways, this is what we're going to be working with today. Drums are sounding good, but they're not just popping and absolutely dominating the speakers, so just got basic kick snare. We will be helping that out. And before we even get to the drums, we're going to use sidechain compression on the bass to duck in time with the kick and snare. Compressor, sidechain from the drop drums. So let's hear this. So there's the information coming through. Already by doing this, you're giving your drums a bit more room to breathe because they're not playing at exactly the same time. We're ducking the bass in time with these drums. But I also use that on the 808 bass. We're already giving our drums the best chance of just popping out straight away. All right, let's crack into the drums. If you haven't already, I would highly recommend grabbing all your drum samples and then chucking them in the same group. It's super easy to do. You literally click and hold shift and then click another channel, aka all the channels which have drum sounds, and then you hit Command or Control G as the shortcut, and it will chuck that into a group. But I've already done that since we have kick, snare, and then drop drums in this one group. So a lot of our effects will be applied on the group as a general, so that way it alters all the sounds of the drums together at once. I'm a big fan of layering, so that's the first thing I'm going to conquer with these drums. I'm going to add a bit more substance and tail end to that clap. Something like that. Plays at exactly the same time. Fade this in. So before. A little bit more boof. So that is a good addition. Helps that snare slash clap seem larger than life. I'm going to open this one up a bit. There we go. Subtle variation. We could turn that down a little bit as well. We do just have kick and snare slash clap. We have any cymbals, hi-hats, etc, etc. I'm going to overlay this on the kick and the snare. This is kind of going to have a subtle metal influence. I don't even know if you call it metal influence. It's just going to be slamming at the same time as our main elements. So a bit more energy, a bit more filling out those higher frequencies as well. I'm just going to round off all the low end information. And then turn this down. Super subtle in the background, just a little bit of hiss, a little bit of edge, and I'm going to continue with that and do another hat on the offbeat. A little bit of fade in the intro. I kind of like having these offbeat ones slightly off the grid and playing a little bit before we snap down here. We could steal the similar EQ pattern from this. Cool, we're getting a few more layers in here. Lastly, I just have like a backing loop in the background with some drums. Bit more information and things going on there. Layering is really a great art form, I do have to admit that. Kick, I think we're not going to double up on this. It's sounding boxy, it's boomy, it's like a great trap kick, so I'm not going to double up on that. I'm more than happy to double up on the clap snare all the time because you can really get some interesting tones and textures. Taking like an acoustic sounding snare, fading that in, and then just getting creative. Like that, instantly. And it's literally as simple as that, new characteristic of the snare sound, and it's just, because I mean you layered a different snare on top of that and it just fits really well. I really enjoyed that, so I'm going to chuck that in every fourth one. Like so. So we covered sidechain, we covered grouping your drums, layering. It's time for some audio effects on this. This is why you'd want to group all your drums together so you can process them as one. I'm going to chuck a bit of reverb and a lot of saturation on them. Should help glue them all together and make just an absolutely savage drum sound. Hybrid reverb on drums feels honestly like a cheat code. Just the stock standard preset or whatever it's set as the default works so well. With a few tweaks. So I don't need that decay time. And the kick is just coming through, I don't want that, so I'm going to strip the bass out. And bump down the dry wet. 3 tweaks. Already kind of gluing together. And saturator, of course. Analog clip, big fan. We'll go hard clip as well. I'm just going to dial this into taste. I feel like it's 4 or 5-ish dB, probably do. 6 is too much. Yeah, 4 to 5. And then maybe adjust the dry wet as well. The amount of overall saturation that is being applied. Full saturation or just no effect. Now let's hear this together. It's way louder, so we need to turn it down. Bit more reverb. What was this? Oh my god, I left that off. Damn it! That extra clap that we added, I'm gonna add a bit more reverb to that. It's gonna really get up. So much pop to it now. And I might be cheeky and try a little bit of grain delay as well, just for that random stereo information that thicken it up a little bit. And yeah, fingers crossed it works. Sync off. I want this as fast as possible because I want it playing at exactly the same time as the drums are playing. I don't want any delay. So you can hear this effect in action. Oh god, it's already cooking it. Making it super wide, adding all those grains in. Dry wet, obviously gonna back this off. 0 is nothing. Just cooking the phase a little bit. Just want a super subtle amount. Because I mean, it's just cheeky enough that it works. I reckon that's a good shout. And lastly, to round this off, I'm going to chuck this compressor before the saturator. A little thing called parallel compression, slamming the absolute crap out of your drums and then backing it off. So ratio, fast attack, fast release. So completely annihilated sound. Crank it. But you're like, who the hell would want to use that? That's why audio effects have dry wet. So this just adds that compressed sound and just kind of like beds it underneath our main drum sound essentially. So you can have as much as, or as little as you want. But I can just, it just kind of helps beef everything up just a little bit more. So yeah, with this compressor that you're running in parallel due to the dry wet, just adds a bit more beef and a bit more thick, adds thick to your sound. Our drums are sounding larger than life. They're hitting hard. They've got so much characteristic now. The bass isn't getting in the way and they're put in a space because of reverb. It's just a melting pot of greatness. I notice we are losing a little bit more of that low end with the kick because of this parallel compression, but we can just head into the EQ and change the point of our high pass. So everything else is kind of getting squished, but the kick isn't getting as bodied as much. We do want a little bit of, yeah, there we go. Beefy drums, that's sounding way better. So yeah, sidechain, all the drums in the same group, layering, effects like reverb, saturation, parallel compression. That should help glue all your drums together and get them sounding freaking ginormous. Hopefully that helps a bunch and I'll see you guys in the next tutorial. Peace!